just like
for soft people, because they don't want to hit nobody.
they gotta memorize plays too.
They do, but I've seen enough football to know that you have to adjust to how the other team sets up.
Hey,
Not on offense, you don't.
Hey, let me show you my highlights.
Okay. Coach Richie got them?
Oh no, I got it.
Oh, you got them. Okay. So, I'm just telling you, you got to learn how to understand, not just memorize.
It's never.
The base of a logarithm is never a negative?
Yeah.
Correct. Remember, the base of a logarithm is the same as the corresponding exponential. And an exponential can never have a negative base.
So the argument can never be negative and the base can never be negative?
Correct.
Sometimes.
A logarithm is sometimes a value that is not an integer. Yeah, literally, we just saw a case where it was 1.5, right? Which is a rational number, but it is not an integer, right? And another thing is, so yeah, we even looked at it right here. That's the 2/3, right? That's not an integer. When it's not an integer, it just means we're dealing with a root as well. Okay? 6 and 7, we're not worrying about. Number 8, the base of a logarithm is
Sometimes
equal to 1.
Yes.
So you can have log
Never.
base 1 of 15.
No,
It can also be
Will
base.
any exponent ever go on 1 to get
No.
15?
it's never.
Never. Remember, we also looked at it, if you think about an exponential, when b was greater than 1, it was an exponential growth. Great job, guys. When b was between 0 and 1, it was an exponential decay. What does b never equal? 1 or 0. We see how b never equals 1? Okay? Because if I have 1 raised to the x, that's just going to be y equals 1. That's not an exponential.
Which is
It's known as a constant function. It's not linear with an exponent of 1, but that's a line, isn't it?
Alright, so can you do like, so like, can you write some logarithm on the board and we have to transform them?
Oh, yeah.
But we do
Not
it
like
quick,
that'd be good.
like we have to do it like quick, like you don't, like you have to do it, like you write the logarithm on the board, we got like at least 15 seconds to
So
solve
what
it.
we gonna do next?
We're going to jump to lesson 3, activity 3.2.
You thought we didn't have a plan the rest of the class?
This is going to help you practice the things you were just asking about, except it's going to be better long-term thinking and learning. So we're not going to do what Todd and Danielle do here. Instead, we're just going to look at this equation. We're trying to solve this equation.
Hey, I get that paid no.
201.
There you go, 201. Next page, actually, 202. Right, yeah, 202. Think about it for a second, how are we going to solve it?
4 to the x minus 1.
Wait,
So we just solved x.
Let's try to solve for x.
Okay.
Dang, that's 50? Or the S off?
That's 50. 50.
I'm gonna beat that song.
Oh no, it look like S off.
So, we write the logarithm for it?
Could you?
Yeah.
Alright, go for it. Write the logarithm form of that.
Oh, on the board?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, erase what's over here on the right hand side. Write that logarithm form up there. What do y'all think about that strategy? Does that work?
Yeah.
I hope everyone remember that, but I don't.
Well, it's a logarithm. We know that. What's the base of the logarithm going to be? Base 4?
1.
What's the argument going to be?
I don't know why. I don't know why I did that.
X minus 1.
Okay, let's pause there and let's think about it. Does that make sense?
4 raised to 50, X minus 1. It could be X minus. You don't know, we don't know what the X is though.
Wait, 4 to the 50?
4 raised, 4 of 50.
Or would it be
It's log base 4
Log
of
base
50.
4 of 50.
I got you.
Oh my God.
Because 4 is not raised to the 50.
but
We don't know what X is. X could be 51.
No, we're solving for x. Any ideas how we can figure out what log base 4 of 50 is?
Yeah, let's say
You put it in the calculator.
Oh, yeah, we could just put that in the calculator.
Keyshawn, it is
And by the way, don't forget, because I do think
2.82.
you have 3 decimals, 2.822. Okay. I will remind you, regularly for my test, we have both a calculator and non-calculator portion.
Wow.
So don't forget that. This was something that would have to show up on the calculator portion for sure. But something where you should be able to figure it out without a calculator.
You're gonna ask us to write the definition of it.
I'm gonna ask you to explain things. Okay, so 2.822 is equal to what?
X minus 1.
So how are you gonna solve from there?
That's 1.
Ah,
Well, I'm gonna put it 3.
Y'all put this in the first name.
No.
Let's do it.
So what do y'all think about that solution process?
Yes.
This one, this seems something.
Since I'm gonna be the only one here for the exam, bro.
For the final, yeah?
Oh, that's sad, bro.
You want the only one here?
As of right now.
That's sad.
Damn. Sending a chip out.
Let the kid go be right there.
Right hand side of it, just looking like him.
Do the last exam, I'll have to grade too.
No.
Because it's first and third on Wednesday, and second and fourth on Thursday.
Oh,
And I don't have a fourth block.
How long y'all been in together?
We gotta get on 90 minutes at least.
You take
Oh.
as long as you want.
You should review.
All right. One detail I do want to point out is this. All Keyshawn did was he just rewrote it as an
Oh,
exponential.
Keyshawn, yeah, we did.
All we did. Okay. How could I do the inverse here to solve this? How would I use inverses to solve?
Maybe next one.
Well, it's already an exponential, so I need a what?
Use the rest one.
Log.
So I'm gonna take log, no, we got 14 minutes. You can hold it for 14. Log base what? Base 4. Whatever I do to one side. Notice those are cancel, right? X minus 1 is equal to. Notice this is a transferable principle, meaning it can work in lots of different situations where we just use inverses. Okay, so number 5 here. You good? So how would I solve this equation? 8 raised to the x equals 38.96.
Log.
All the 8, all the 8, both sides.
Take the log base 8 of both sides.
Then it'd be log 8, yeah, equals x.
You find the X now, we got 4.
Solving for x.
Alright, so them 8's cancel out, you leave X on that side.
And remember, the other way to think about it is I'm looking for an exponent. What's the exponent that goes on 8 to give me 8 raised to the x? The exponent is?
So x
X.
equals 38.96.
No.
No, log 8, 38.96.
Now we got solved.
And that's what I would put into the calculator. Notice this would be the same thing as just rewriting the exponential as a logarithm, but using inverses. So it's transferable.
Can you, alright.
Hold on, what?
Alright, so, how do you type in this?
You see where it says 10 to the x on the calculator, but it says log above it in gray?
It is
Oh, okay.
1.761.
And what does that number mean?
That's the.
Oh, that
approximate.
means,
It is approximate, but that's the what, Preston? That should make sense.
that means 8.
What is 8? Well, that's one point out. What is 8 to the first?
8.
8. What is 8 to the second?
64.
Notice how 38.96 is in between, and it's closer to 8 to the second. And so we want to notice, right? That's important to note there.
So you wouldn't let me walk on?
What?
Right down there by
He gonna drop you off.
If they will let you go, sure, but that's not up to me. If the office decides.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom, my bad. I'll try to do
Okay? You get a write up on the last day of class.
it. Okay.
This kid, you right.
You can take them to,
You really brought me up?
Yes.
have lunch.
You stay on that jacks. You say y'all got lunch together.
That's about the test. You read it right in front of them.
Hey, at least it's a half day, bro.
It is a half day.
You straight, bro. You just chill out.
Dude, Tuesday, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All I know is I'm leaving that
What?
box Thursday.
Well, just the two
What's
days.
the last day of school?
Wednesday.
Thursday.
Thursday. Your exam is on Thursday.
Whoa. Oh, well,
I gotta steal that. Oh my. I ain't gotta come to school after Monday.
So what's Tuesday?
Review for the exam?
so we don't have to come to the.
I'm not coming to school.
You're exempt. You don't need to come to my class on
You said
Tuesday.
you want counter test, you can see.
Nope, I'm just coming Monday,
Oh, Mom, taking my
checking out
test.
third block.
Yeah.
No, I'm coming to school second.
Okay, so this is activity 4.2. I just want you to see a little bit with logarithms. So go
The skin trying to show us all his tricks, what you did.
to, not all the tricks, but
Well, you pushing it. You pushing it.
trying to get a little bit. So I want y'all to try to start with B, solve that one and D first, and then after B and D, I want y'all to move to something like A and C. So attempt those two problems. I'm sorry.
How long was you when you actually hit the school? I got big.
Year and a half?
A year and a half before y'all got married?
Yeah.
How'd y'all meet?
Leave him married quick.
Once you know what you want, you know what you want.
How'd y'all meet? How'd y'all meet? I want to hear that. How'd
She
y'all
came over to a Bible study at my house.
We had about your at your house.
We started talking about education that first night and
Oh, yeah.
started dating
Y'all just hit
within
it
a
out.
month.
Y'all just hit it out.
Yeah, started dating within a month. I proposed within 10 months. Got engaged or got married within a year and a half.
Sounds about right. It's like a love story.
That's
That's
kind of
what
how
I'm trying to do.
she came to your house for a Bible study.
Keyshawn, just be a little careful with the way you're writing it because it almost looks like that 9. Well, not that, the starting point.
Oh,
Well, it looks like your 9 is an exponent,
You're not gonna
not
put,
an
you're
argument.
not gonna put this on it.
So you're a preacher? You're a preacher?
No. Hey, Keyshawn, I'm focused more on the 9. It's too high. It needs to be in line with the logarithm. One, my roommate at that time was a college and youth pastor, but we hosted a Bible study in our class.
Okay, so we just start over. Yeah. I'll flip the equation.
I'm really, then I put log form of it in the calculator. Then I got this.
I did 4.5 raised to this.
But does that help you solve for x?
I don't take a while.
So remember, and that's why I asked y'all to do this question first, focus on what you're trying to solve for. You're trying to solve for x.
I just add
So
one
you
more
add
side.
Right, you can just add 1 to both sides,
I knew
right? But you have to do log base 4. Remember, it's log base 4.5 of 9. That is together.
So the one coming in on this side, we add one to both sides.
I would probably do log base 4.5 of 9 first, because that's with the logarithm, and then after I do that, I would add the 1.
Cause that is raised to
So I can't
That is
add
1
1
point.
to the 9.
that is 1.461. So do 1.461 equals 8 minus 1? Take
So we had added,
that's like this. It's 1.461
so I got 3.46.
equals. Yeah, y'all just put it in the calculator. Solve 4.5.
What's your question, Xavier?
Oh, you got it right, you said.
2.4.
1.461. Yeah, dude, just put 1.461.
It's not. At least 3 decimal places is what I would ask.
And then plus 1 on both sides.
We needed exponent.
And then it
That
is
is-
2.461
Kind of.
equals 8.
So like if you do 4.5 raised to that minus 1, you'll get 9.
1.461 equals 8 minus.
It's a logarithm, right? So 4.5 raised to, it's that value minus 1, that's what the exponent is. The question is, does that equal 9? Must have rounded. Let's just do this, 4.5.
I'm just not doing this thing. The seniors test was easier than ours.
Yeah.
It was for her? Oh, yeah.
Cause they don't have this one.
You're not taking the final.
I know, but that was not on there. I know it wasn't on there.
It was on. Alright,
I think I
y'all
did this wrong.
go with B?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I'm on D.
Okay.
You're doing B now?
Wait. Jakeem, it's log base 3 of 4.6, not 3 to the 4.6. Just take the logarithm of 3, log base 3 of 4.6, put that in the calculator.
So C would be, we put the same thing, we put the calculator too.
Well, so here's something I want to point out to y'all.
No, you can't put A plus 2 in the calculator, can you?
Well, two things. Pause and note this, right? Just put that into the calculator. Log base 3 of 4.6, what is that?
Minus 2.
No, what is log base 3 of 4.6?
Oh, it's 1 point.
1 point what?
1.38, or 1.390.
90, okay. Equals 2 minus x. I have a logarithm with no variable, so I'm just gonna take that logarithm. Now I'm gonna subtract 2.
I was super confused if I subtracted
So
two.
negative 0.610 is equal to a negative x. Divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1.
Okay. That's why I was confused about if I should take the.
Hold on, we'll do it.
Right? If it's a logarithm with no variable, I can just do that logarithm.
Yeah, you all saying, man, ain't not a variable.
But in C, because that's where Caleb was looking at, we have a variable within that logarithm.
Okay.
Oh, wait till Keyshawn finishes working that problem.
You didn't work out this morning?
I did.
45, 40 minutes.
The actual workout itself, the major part of the workout itself took 16 and a half minutes. The warm-ups and everything else took a little bit. I was there for a total of 55 minutes.
What time you were doing?
C, log base x plus 2 of 7.1 equals 3.
Okay.
How am I going to solve that equation?
Which one?
C, log base of x plus 2 of 7.1 equals 3. How am I going to solve that? And Keyshawn, I need you to notice, hey Keyshawn, you see how that 7.1 is directly in line with the logarithm? That's how you show the argument directly in line. Okay,
Subtract that 2 from both sides.
I can. That's a base of a logarithm.
Or you can repeat it.
What can I do? Anybody?
Go rewrite it.
I could rewrite it.
Oh.
I can also use
Log.
an inverse, can't I?
Oh, so you can do log base of 21 to
Take the log.
3 equals A.
But it's not, right?
Yeah.
This is a logarithm. What undoes a logarithm? And what's going to be the base of that exponential?
X plus 2.
Right. And then on that side as well. So those cancel. 7.1 is equal to x plus 2 cubed. Notice it's all about inverses. Now what can you do? Keyshawn, make sure you have the parentheses around the x plus 2.
You can do what's in the parentheses.
But
Nah,
I
you
can't.
can,
You can't do that, can you?
There's something we can do. Remember, I want to
Cube
use,
root.
thank you, I can use inverses to undo operations that are there. Cube root of 7.1.
I don't know. I'm tired.
It's a good thing we got calculators.
It is 1.922.
1.922. Ah,
Y'all need my binder up here?
is that it right there?
Yeah.
And just subtract 2. Alright, you ready for your last problem for me?
Yep.
No.
I'm so tired, bro.
Alright, your attitude.
Attitude.
What?
Oh boy, last time.
Last question, E, right here. Natural log of x plus 4 is equal to 3.8. What do I need to cancel out?
X plus 4.
I need to cancel out the logarithm, right? The x plus 4 is inside of that logarithm. How am I going to cancel out a logarithm? Ah, that's right, I need an exponential, and the natural log is understood to be base E.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, please don't put none of them on the, test.
So x plus 4 is equal to e to the 3.8. So just put e to the 3.8 in your calculator.
Don't put that on 10 Mexican. Please don't.
I'm going to put that specific problem on the test.
Oh, you really?
Let me take a
E
picture
to
of
the
my
3.8
eyes.
is
I'm
44
gonna take a picture
point
of my eyes.
701.
Now subtract the 4. And that's it. Congratulations, y'all have officially finished my teaching in this class.
That's right, baby.
Okay.
Done, boy.
I will point this out, the test is on Monday. The big idea graphic organizer complete, why did that disconnect? The entire graphic organizer is due on Monday, unless you just are banking on not having to do it.
I'm calling you for my phone return rate.
So, notice the entire big idea graphic organizer except these two terms is due on Monday. If you do those terms, it'll help you review for that test a whole lot.
That's right.
That's right. I don't care, Mr. King, I don't even know what you have to say.
I
'Cause
said that's right. I ain't say that's right.
that's my point is, you're saying let's ride as if I don't care what you're saying, Mr. Kenny, I'm out.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty, I know, that's why I'm calling you out on it.
Ooh, you trying to slide? You trying to slide?
Preston, I thought you were gonna show me your highlights.
Oh, I'm about to. I don't know who's gonna be there. I know it's gonna be in my cousin. You know, Venom, the person you crashed into.
Hey, the girl on the car race. Had a race. You gotta have a lady.
Venom ain't like that. And it was their fault.
It was whose fault?
I need to get my phone. I saw you text me.
Don't tell me. I might slide. I might pull up. But I ain't finna stay.